Welcome back, friends. Lost Guy here. Time for more Great Ace Attorney. And this is BS. So, he made it sound like we shouldn't show him anything. Turns out we have to show him the autopsy report. What the fudge? Seriously, what? He made it sound like I can't show him anything. I went everywhere. Everywhere. But it had to be him because, like, how else are we going to move forward? He's the newest thing. And this is the thing that worked on him. This came up in the trial, didn't it? As something a little dubious, I mean. The fact that no time of death was recorded on Inspector Gregson's autopsy report? Yes, there were some unexpected turns in the courtroom earlier. The suggestion you came up with certainly took everyone by surprise. Gotta find that voice again. Prince Adolf. The idea that the victim died the previous day at some other location is quite something. Well, considering when the pocket watch had stopped and the scorch marks on the candle. It's certainly a distinct possibility. The evidence and the scene both point to it. To be honest, it bothered me too. So I paid a visit to the autopsy room earlier. The coroner responsible wasn't there, but I got a name. It's Dr. Gord. If it wouldn't trouble you, Kazuma-sama, we'd very much like to speak with the coroner, too. Of course. The last thing I want is for anything to be brushed under the carpet. Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory is behind Lowgate Cemetery. Lowgate by Barclay Prison, you mean? Ah, you know it, do you? The prison where my father was incarcerated, and robbed of his life. Kazuma-sama. Well, thank you. We'll pay a visit to the laboratory later today. Also known as Right the Hell Now. Nothing else to do. Ryunosuke. I want to thank you. What for? For this. You safeguarded the soul of the Asogi clan. Well, it is a famous sword that's been in your family for generations. My only slight regret is that I never got the chance to draw it before I returned it to you. Haruma is said to have been forged by a master swordsmith during the Sengoku Warring States period. I come from a long lineage of warriors, many of whom were expert swordsmen. Well then, you're a chip off the old block, I'd say. This blade, Karuma, is the symbol of the Asogi clan's honor and might. Apparently, one of my father's apprentices even took the blade's name for a surname. Karuma? Really, Karuma? It does sound formidable, that's for sure. 16 years ago, when my father was a visiting student here in London, he had this sword forever at his side. Which is why it means so much to me that I have it by my side again now, too. He's smiling, wow. And that is all thanks to you. It was an honor. Now I have preparations to make for tomorrow. Perhaps I said a little too much. Kazuma, you've changed. No, Ryunosuke, I haven't changed at all. It's you who's changed. I can completely understand your resentment of Lord Von Zeeks given what happened. But the fact is, those events in this case are, well, unrelated? Is that what you want to say? How can you be so sure? What do you mean? Never mind. That man is the Reaper, and it's for that reason that their inspector was killed. I'm going to prove as much in court tomorrow. By whatever means necessary. I can't let you do that, I can't let you do that, Kazuma. I can't let you do that, Star Fox. I know you'll do what you have to as a lawyer. But I'm sure I don't need to tell you that I won't be taking any prisoners in the courtroom. I would expect nothing less. Until tomorrow, then, in the Old Bailey. Alright, moving on. Forensic Laboratory coming up. Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor. I never imagined it possible. You know, I don't believe we visited this place for some time. Or ever. No, we've been there. This is the same place, right? Yeah, it's the same place. This with more dollies. Or were those there the first time? I actually don't remember. 2nd November, Forensics Laboratory. This place really is creepy, isn't it? It looks cute to me. The formaldehyde smell would be what bothered me. Well, being a dead womb, it's probably full of spirits to dissect it. But actually, there's a rather pleasant scent of, roses in the air. Well, being a dead womb, the coroner probably needs a bold scent like that to mask the odor of death. Iris? Do you think we could change the subject? No. Here we go. Time for Bane voice. Shink, 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 shink. What? What was that? Glad there's a sound effect for that. Oh, there'd work. Dr. Gory? Here we go. Bane voice. Hello! Okay. What? There you go. That noise before. I was sharpening my tools. I'd be dead meat if I didn't keep a perfectly keen edge on them. I like that this is decided to be the Bane voice, right? Not the voice from the animated series, no. The one from the freaking movie, the Nolan movie. It is more recent after all, but it's a fun voice. Right. Right. When following the collagen fibers in the dermis, an expertly sharpened scalpel cuts like cheese. Would you like a demonstration? Oh, yes, please. I want to see. Then, I think you'll do nicely. Huh? No, I wouldn't do nicely at all. I mean, maybe some other time? Tch. We can play Dr. Mask. Was that a tut? Well, we came here to ask questions, so... Converse! Time of death. We have actually met before. I'm a lawyer, if you remember. You're not dead yet? What? So Mama said I wasn't to open you up. She's so strict about things like that. Well, good. Dr. Scythe has some scruples at least. Oh dear. It looks like she's not interested in talking to us for the time being anyway. For the time being? You mean, until we die? I hope that's a way off. Sorry, but I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. Surely there's some less drastic way of making her listen. Alright, present. Maybe just the autopsy report? Try. Dr. Gory, we actually came here to ask you about this. He was very good. Good? Sorry? His skin didn't snag my blade once. And very little mess. Oh my god. His joints dislocated easily, and his muscle tissue was a pleasure to work with. We can skip those details. But there is one thing about the report that's caught my attention. You don't seem to have recorded a time of death. Doctor. Oh god, there's a face! Well, she took it off, and I was like, that's not my fault. Oh, that made me jump. Then please, tell us what happened. I think it would have been funny to decide to keep going Bane voice, but she did take the mask off. Time of death. It'd be really weird if that's just your voice. So, why doesn't the autopsy report include the victim's time of death then? It's really the most crucial detail. Oh, okay, thank God, thank God.
I was told not to write it.
What? By whom?
Male Strongheart, the Lord Chief Justice. He came here.
Lord Strongheart came?
He said that from the witness statements about the gunshot and other evidence, it was obvious. The man clearly died at 5 p.m. on 1st of November, when the gunshot was heard.
But that's not the time of death you wrote on the report. You didn't write anything. Was there some reason you didn't include it? Dr. Gory, if you're hiding something under Lord Strongheart's instructions, then sooner or later you're going to go the same way as your mother. Woo! Got their attention. Give it here, then. Huh? What's she scribbling so furiously? There. You've written... What's she written? Tell us. What's she written? Tell us. Indeterminate. What? Okay. The details of the report have been updated in the court record. Can be determined. Wow. I like how we don't have any other choices here. What do you mean by that? Why was the time of death indeterminate? Indeterminate. Indeterminate. When the specimen was brought in, it was still fresh. So the time of death could easily have coincided with the gunshot was heard.
But there was one small discrepancy.
What discrepancy?
There was some fried fish in the pocket of the specimen's overcoat.
Oh my God!
And that fish had started to rot.
His immortal fish rotted? What? His unlimited fish?
If the victim liked fried fish, he presumably liked to eat it before it went off.
Well, yes. What are you really trying to say?
It's possible that someone tried to manipulate the apparent time of death.
Manipulate the... Is that even possible to do?
Theoretically, if you were to chill the body in ice, you could delay the onset of putrefaction. And if the overcoat wasn't on the body at the time...
then only the fish would have started to rot.
With today's science, it's not yet possible to determine if the body was chilled or not.
But today's science is advanced enough to let you freeze a corpse, it seems. But surely, to chill a corpse like that would require an enormous electrical refrigerator. And I don't imagine many households in London are equipped with such a device. No, definitely not. But maybe in a factory? Or some other special places? I don't recall seeing any factories or such like on Fresno Street, though. I wonder if the inspector's body had been chilled somehow. What might the actual time of death have been?
I couldn't say for sure.
But at the most, it might have been a day earlier. No! In other words, it would corroborate your previous deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. That Inspector Gregson was killed the day before his body was discovered, at a different location. Did you inform Lord Strongheart of this possibility? He simply said there were no electrical refrigerators of that size in the vicinity. Oh yes, one other thing. It's something the governor of Barclay Prison told us. He said that your mother, Dr. Scythe, was responsible for confirming the death of the professor after his execution? The professor? Apparently you always enjoyed listening to your mother's stories about her work, so we were wondering if you might know something about what happened 10 years ago. That's not all Mama did. Sorry? My mama carried out the autopsy of Clint von Zieks as well. What? Really? The brother of Lord von Zieks, the professor's final victim. The idea of carrying out an autopsy on a member of the aristocracy was completely unthinkable back then. But the detective in charge of the investigation insisted, and it was miraculously authorized. That detective being Inspector Gregson, of course. Quite an accomplishment for one man. That autopsy provided the vital clue needed to arrest the killer. And Mama was there for that historic event. What does all this mean? You know, that amazing autopsy happened right here in this very room. The professor and Clint von Zieks. They both spent their final moments before the burial on that dissection table there. But this lab, Mama's lab, was instrumental in some of the country's most important events. She really is proud of her mother. I wonder if you'd tell us more about what exactly happened back then, Dr. Gory. Back to converse? Confirmation of death. The professor's execution was Mama's first big case. She had to be in attendance at a Barclay Prison's execution chamber, and signed a certificate to confirm the convict's death. Mama is the best coroner in the world, you know. I was so proud of her. But the execution didn't actually take place. No, and worse still, Mama actually helped with the jailbreak.
I didn't want to know.
Oh dear, you found out recently, you mean?
I believed in her and Mama, but now I wonder if I'm starting down the same path as her.
You mean because you admitted the time of death on this autopsy report? But that's because Lord Strongheart forbade you from including it.
Just like Mama. I'm sure she was coerced by somebody too.
Yes, that's my feeling as well. There's no doubt that there were powerful forces at play 10 years ago. The execution couldn't have been staged without a lot of people at the prison knowing about it. Obviously, the prison governor must have been in on it as well. The big man with the widow handcuffs? According to what he told us, he was tricked by the chief warder. He says he knew nothing about it. Of course he said that. I'd say the same thing. Just who was behind this jailbreak all those years ago? Clint's autopsy. You mentioned the autopsy of Clint von Zieks. It was at the time when carrying out autopsies of murder victims was very unusual. It's still not a practice that's observed in our country even now. It turned out that he was the professor's final victim, and when the autopsy was performed, Mama was present, although only as the secondary assistant. The person leading the procedure was called Dr. John H. Wilson. What? That's right, my dad. And there was one other person present, the primary assistant. He was a visiting student from the Far East. Oh, Mikatoba. Wait, a visiting student? It must have been my father, Eugen Mikatoba. I had no idea Professor Mikatoba had been involved in something so important. He was there for the autopsy of his own freaking friend? Ay. Oh, no. The autopsy of Clint, not his friend. Okay.
But the outcome of that historic autopsy was the discovery of a vital piece of evidence that led to the capture of the professor.
That's a wicked smile. So that's how they came to identify Genshin Asogi as the infamous mass murderer. Do you happen to know anything about that piece of evidence? Can you tell us any more?
Would you like to see the records for yourself?
I'm curious why the mask comes on at certain points, because she's shown looks of pride and disgust without the mask. So I'm curious why the mask comes on at certain moments. If there's a clue here, I'm not catching it necessarily. What would you? Would that be all right?
What's the point of keeping records if people can look at them? They're filed under V at the back of those cupboards, with the other records from the last decade.
V for what, Vendetta? Thank you! Let's see. Von Zeek. Oh, that's why. Von Zeeks. That's strange.
What, Mr. Naruto?
There aren't any. There's nothing here under Von Zeeks.
There must be.
There you go, that. Perhaps somebody took them away?
No one's allowed to take documents related to the professor case out of this room. But you're right, they're gone.
Well, when was the last time somebody looked at them? Do you remember?
It was... Oh yes, I remember now. It was 2 years ago. A consulting detective came one day, saying that he'd like to see the records.
No, you don't mean...
Harlock Jones was his name.
Deep down, I knew that was coming.
Do you think he stole the records?
Oh no, surely not. Iris, that can't be right. Can it? Iris? Oh, shoot.
Warno. I hope you don't mind, but...
What is it, Iris?
I just remembered something very important I have to do. I'm going to leave you now.
Oh, this is very sudden, Iris.
Well, we'll come with you then. Oh, no, there's no need. You and Warno can take your time here. Bye for now, then. Good luck.
You dashed off.
Wait a minute, little girl. Me? I remember now. You've been here before, haven't you?
Huh? 2 years ago. Have you, Iris?
Yes, 2 years ago, when that detective came. You were with him, weren't you? You were a living specimen then, too.
Oh, I got her eyes. That's the way it usually works, yes.
Was I? Well, I really don't remember.
Oh my god, she's hiding too.
Anyway, sorry, but I must dash.
Wait, Iris?
I'll brew up a pot for you when we get home.
What's the matter with her? She's behaving really strangely all of a sudden. Well, in that case, we won't keep you any longer either.
It's been quite a while since I had any visitors. This was really fun. But next time you come, I prefer if you're ready for dissection.
I can't make any promises, sorry. Hey. It's a bit strange that the records of Clint von Zeeks' autopsy have disappeared. But I think we've asked all we came to ask now.
It feels somewhat colder here, doesn't it?
Let's see, where do I go? Fresno Street? Okay, she says we haven't been there in a while, so let's go to Fresno Street, I guess? Sholmes might be there. Anytime she says, I'm like, alright, let's go check it out. Something new. 2nd of November, room on Fresno Street. The police are still busily investigating in here, then. But Gina's nowhere to be seen. Where is she? Yes, it has been blissfully quiet, hasn't it? Perhaps she's out investigating on her own? Practicing what her boss taught her? Well, I expect she'll be back here before long. Shall we wait? Actually... there's something different about this room since the last time we were here, isn't there? We could always use the time to investigate more thoroughly. That box. There's only one difference in that box. A box? Right there. This little trunk wasn't here before, was it? Oh, it appears to be made of metal. It must be very heavy. I wonder to whom it belongs. There are some initials on the outside. Look, TG. Let's ask one of the policemen if they know how it came to be here. Oi! What do you think you're doing? There she is. That's my trunk, that is. Yeah, okay, yeah, Gina, yeah. Gina. Hands off. Gina! Well, where were you hiding? I don't know, you leave something unattended for a few seconds, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got his giddy eyes on it. Making her Scottish on accent. Well, just a wild guess, Gina, but... What? Spit it out, Odo! Is it fair to say that you've only owned that trunk since this morning's trial? What? What are you trying to say? Come on, this trunk goes with me everywhere. Always has. Where have you been the last year? Trying not to incur your wrath, mainly. I'm talking to Gina now. Your boss. You should hear them talking at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying that it was the boss who killed all them old bludgers. Ah, you mean the whole Reaper thing? Yeah. Apparently the boss was investigating stuff that no one else at the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all those criminals what got off scot-free. Yes, the ones prosecuted by Lord Von Zieks who used bribery and corruption to evade conviction. Well, then obviously it was that bloomin' Reaper giving the orders, wasn't it? But why would people be suspecting Inspector Gregson of being involved in the killings? There was a notebook hidden in his office. Oh no, this doesn't sound good. It had details about all the crimes that have been pegged as the Reaper's work. What? No! Did you see it, Gina? Did you see that notebook? They wouldn't blame and let me, because I'm just an apprentice apparently. But it was me who found it, and he was my boss. That's right. I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneaked a peek at what it said anyway. Oh, that's our Gina. Take a notebook. So, you managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, didn't you? Well, I see it. It's not right to read what he wrote. And what had he written, Gina? Dates, times, places, names, and a long list of them. All details but the bludgers supposed to have been done in by the Reaper. But there could be an explanation for that. Perhaps it was a record in the inspection's investigations into the Reaper's activities. Exactly, that's what I said.
That's the first thing you'd think, right? As it happens, it was full of names I recognized anyway. Well, the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively known leaders of London's criminal and the underworld. Well, yeah, but there was one name right at the end that was a bit odd. At the end of the list, you mean? I'm pretty sure the date against it was 31st of October. Oh, the day before the inspector was found dead. So what was the odd name? It wasn't like a name I've ever seen before. It was something like, nah, it's no good. I can't remember it. I don't think it was an English name, to put it that way. Oh dear, what a pity. There was something else too. I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming up over and over. Shin, it was. Oh! Don't suppose it means anything but... Huh? Did you say Shin? Shin? Sashin? Assassin? Eh? What? What does it mean? Hey, what? It does mean something. Lord Von Zeeks knew the name too. He mentioned her as well. The woman who actually did the deeds. And now we find out her name appeared in Gregson's secret notebook? We haven't seen you for a little while, have we, Gina? Well, of course not. I've been busy, ain't I? Investigating in that. The lads at the yard are trying to trace the boss's movements the day before it happened. The day before. That would be the undercover investigations of the Red-Hooded League, then. Only the boss didn't go, did he? You found some cove which was pretending to be him, didn't you? Odo. Yep, him. Yes, it was Mr. Vigil who actually went to the park on Lime Street that day, posing as Gregson. Well, anyway, you ain't the only one turning up stuff up. I've got my own ways of getting results. Stealing from people. Oh, the dog. When me and me partner get together, there's nothing we can't track down. Oh, little Toby. He's such a faithful friend. So, have you tracked anything down then? What do you think, eh? Of course we have. Can't tell you though. Policeman business, innit? Anyway, the point is, if you lot ever need any help, you know who to turn to, right? Me and the hellhound here. Right, because he looks so... because he looks oh so hellish honest. Hellhound, oh my god. Gina, about your hellhound there? Chief Inspector Toby, you mean? He's the pride of the force, he is. In Japanese, police dog means something quite different, and not altogether nice to those involved in crime. I'm curious. But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems. For a canine, at least. It should be. After all, in the Great Exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate Drebber's workshop. Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what this super dog can do, eh? Perhaps something the Chief Inspector could catch the scent of? I wonder? The headpiece. Well, Chief Inspector Toby, if you wouldn't mind having a sniff of this. Woo! Oh my god, tail in her face. He might be a little too keen, don't you think? Woo! Oh my god, right in her face. The Chief Inspector made short work of Gina there. Woo! Oh, look where she's gone to. Oh my, that trunk clearly still has a very strong scent. Of Inspector Gregson. In other words, it must have belonged to him. Yeah.
Alright, it's a fair cop, I suppose. And you nearly got away with it, too. You always talk so proudly of Chief Inspector Toby's nose and what it can achieve. Did it not cross your mind that he might identify something that was right next to us? Yeah, that was a bit of bloomer there, wasn't it? That's enough now then, Gina. Eh? I think it's time you told us the truth about that trunk. Metal trunk. It weren't like that. It just weren't. What are you talking about? I know it's going through that head of yours, but that ain't what happened. Alright then, what did happen? Well, like I said before, we were trying to trace the boss's movements. I let Toby have a whiff of the boss's overcoat, and as soon as I done that, he went off like a shot. Straight to that sandwich. To a sandwich? Not to a bag of chips? Mr. Narahodo, I believe Gina means the witness. Oh, sandwich. Oh, I forgot about that sandwich. Yeah, he had it hidden between the wooden boards of his, the boss's trunk. Now, why'd he have that? You mean when they heard the sound like a gunshot and all piled in here? Exactly. He nabbed it from the scene. Goodness. Me and the Chief Inspector gave that sandwich a good grilling. And you know what he said? I thought it might fit that sugar good price and the chap wouldn't be needing it anymore, so... But that's all I did. Nothing more, nothing. But you had him and he had the cheek of it, stealing the dead boss's stuff to the flog. So Miss Venus wasn't the only one to meddle with the scene of the crime then? What did she do? I don't remember. How could they? Anyway, that's how it happened. And it's a pretty decent chunk, so I figured I might as well make use of it. Is there somewhat wrong with that, Well, maybe you and Mr. Sandwich should try to find the answer to that question together? No? I think perhaps that trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? What are you on about? I am the police. Gina, if you wouldn't mind, can we maybe examine it? Yeah, alright then. Do what you want with it. Thank you. We shall make a detailed record of our examination of the evidence. Record record. Alright, let's take a look. It's in a book. Oh! What's the matter with Toby? Why is he acting so aggressively towards me all of a sudden? Miss Narahodo, be careful. It must be the trunk. Ah! Jump scare! Ah! Bud. Toby, oi! Where are you going? You're gonna lick his face off. Miss Narahodo! Miss Narahodo! Gina, quickly! Hail a carriage! Freaking jump scared. Wasn't seeing that coming. At the end of the episode? Okay, no, it's the end of the episode, but not the end of the chapter. 2nd November, 4:57 p.m. Narahodo's legal consultancy. I'll save right here. Freaking jump scare, dog. What the hell? Oh, Miss Narahodo, are you alright? Alright, stop there. Did you do anything while I was sleeping, and if not, why? Okay, there. Stop there for now. I had fun. Hope you for watching. That's what's up, Bazit, having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time. Freaking jump scare dog. That got me. Like, what? His dog just got in his face.